In the debate, there was a moment where Trump brought up Joe Biden's son, Hunter, and he brought up the fact that he was kicked out of the military for cocaine use. And we're going to look at that and then show a clip of someone who had been on The Apprentice, I believe a staff member, and they talk about Trump snorting Adderall and snorting cocaine.
You in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent, when we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking
like
about
hell.
Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Beau Biden. You're talking about.
I don't know Beau. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. It wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various
not
other places.
True.
He
my
made
son,
a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it. And I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions of dollars?
Here you see a very human side of Joe Biden as he defends his son and talks about how he's proud of him for overcoming his drug addiction. You see Trump, this is kind of a trick that maybe he got it from Roger Stone. It's the idea of never be on the defense. Even though he said those things about military members, he wasn't even going to go there. He wasn't going to entertain that thought. He wasn't going to defend himself. He immediately just flips it and is on the attack talking about Joe Biden's son, which I understand there are a lot of Americans that struggle with drug addiction. That's considered a mental illness, and Joe Biden defends him. Now let's go ahead and watch the clip of a former staff member from The Apprentice talking about Donald Trump and his drug use and see the hypocrisy with it.
You know, what I mean? And from what I saw, Adderall is his maintenance drug. It's how he reads publicly. His big fear is reading cue cards, any 3-syllable words. You see him when he's doing the coronavirus. Like, he reads with his finger. He's not thinking about what he's saying. He's just like reading words, like a third grader giving, because he there's no shame in it, but I believe he's dyslexic, as many are, and it's very treatable. I don't think he treated it in the 60s. I think that's why his dad bought all his school records and stuff. And I think he got made fun of a lot for that, especially by girls in his elementary school, because he punched a teacher. You know what I mean? He threw rocks at the neighbor's baby. They sent him to reform school. And even at reform school, up in military school, they had to steal his grades, But anyway, Dr. Bornstein was his Adderall dealer. And you could do your own research. But as soon as Trump got elected, the first thing he did was send Keith Schiller and another bodyguard to Bornstein's office on the Upper East Side. They pushed him aside and they took all the medical records, And that's how you prove it if that ever leaked out. So he's got an Adderall prescription. He sniffs it because you get a high off of that. But for party time, it's cocaine, methamphetamine. He would do like VH1 shows in the early 2000s. He'd be doing lines in the back of a limo with models. People come up to me now, and I live in Manhattan, on the Upper East Side, and they've seen me since the thing went viral. And guys like walking their dogs like doctors on Park Avenue and be like, "Oh, I saw your thing. I did lines with Trump. I still got a table with freaking, with marks in it from cutting up lines." Like,
so you think he's still? I mean, wait. Well, first, did you see him do Adderall at Celebrity Apprentice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you saw it. So all these idiots here, saw it.
Exactly.
No saw it. So stop trying to defend this fucking dotard.
They're always gonna. And look, even if you don't want to believe me, and I don't care if you believe me. Look at his behavior just since he's become president. Do you know what I'm saying? You can slow down video and see the shit dripping out of his nose. You can hear him sniffing through every public talk. You can see the big scar on the side of his nose where he had a septoplasty because he blew out his, septum snorting coke way back in the 80s. He's got them on both sides of his nose. Anybody who knows, that's coke nose, man. I used to tour manage rock bands, I used to take care of 70-year-old drug addicts for a living,
Yeah.
But don't believe me. I don't care if you believe me. Look at his behavior.
Believe you. I believe you. I mean, look, that's the problem with this country now. Trump has done what Hitler did, and I don't care what they say, but he has managed to make everybody think that all news against him is fake.
Exactly. That's why he's attacking the media. It's fake news.
Now, look, a lot of hardcore Trump fans, they're not going to be swayed if they see something like this. But for the vast majority of us, we want to have shared realities. We want to have the same kind of belief in what's going on in the world, the same kind of knowledge of events and what's happening here. So just shows like Trump isn't too low to try to make fun of someone because of their mental illness. Notice he doesn't even try to defend the military thing. At least Biden's sons, one of them did serve in the military, and one of them at least attempted to, where that Trump and Don Jr. and Eric never did. But this is just something that's characteristic of Trump, kind of that projection, accusing others of doing things that he himself has done.